All right. Hi, guys. I think this is the first time I'm going live on Periscope. So I'm just setting things up, not sure how it works. So let me just try it out. Works? All right, cool. So actually, yesterday I had put a little screenshot of something what I'm building. So I'm building Ludo, and Sahil asked me if I can actually go live and stream my coding live. So I've set up this little tool called eCam, and I don't usually use external display and the camera at the same time because I keep my laptop shut. But today I had to actually open my laptop and also have the external display working at the same time. But yeah, let's see. I'm going to switch to this screen and just a second. All right, so let me just pull up uh, this one. All right, and then let's just put it on one side of the screen. Okay, cool. And then I think I have also got uh, Ludo on the other side. Just a second. So I'll keep working throughout the day and I'll be on and off. So I'll go live multiple times. Let me just try to pull up. Okay. I hope my system just works because there are two displays and a camera all streaming from my device. So I just hope it all works. All right, so this is the project what I have created using Expo, and I'm just going to start the web version and then later switch it to something else. Just a second. I'm gonna mute my mic for a little while. Just a second. There are many people in my house. Just a second. All right. Just a second. All right. I'm just going to check my comments somewhere so that I'm not sure if my video quality is good enough, the screen share. So I'm just going to quickly check the comments on Twitter. Right. I'm not sure if my video quality is good enough, the screen share. So I'm just going to quickly check the comments on Twitter. All right, so this seems to be fine. I think one of the viewers had
Right.
problems. It must be a problem on their system. So yeah, just a second. All right. Okay, cool. So let me start. Yeah, sorry. All right, this one works. Got Ludo running here. And just a second. All right. Just let me know whenever there's some glitch because I'm not really sure if everything is working fine. I think I can see the comments on Periscope. So if you have anything to comment about, if the screen is not visible or if my audio is not that good, then go ahead and please leave a comment. All right. So this is what I've built right now. Uh, and so I've got the basic board there, which is actually an image. So I've got an image background. And on top of that, I have got the players and the block. I call it goatees in Hindi. So render goatees is the name of the component. That might be a little funny, but yeah, that's what it is. All right. So how? Let me just quickly demo what I have done so far. So I am simulating things from the server, so you can actually go ahead and click on Add Player. That adds players, and if you do it multiple times, it adds all the players, and then roll dice, and then you can click on Play as soon as you do it, it goes to the I mean it comes out from one of these places and goes here. And then once you if you click if you keep clicking play, then it keeps going from one block to another. So so this is how it goes. So the first thing was like how do we build this data structure. So I have created something like a linked list, and that's in a database in a JS file called places.js. So this is the places.js file. And I have given an ID to all the block, and then it has all the locations like, okay, X, Y, color, and what is the next ID from that particular location. So, and so I've created all the blocks. So there are I think more than 66 blocks for all the users, all the players. And then we have got some specific ones like B1 and all those things for blue, R1 for red, and all those things. Uh, to debug things, I have also rendered it over here. So actually in app.js, you can go ahead and I can enable the the overlay just for the purpose of debugging and just checking. I call it render block. So this renders all the blocks, and as soon as I save it, uh, you can see all the blocks. So let me quickly go over render block. So render block actually loops over the places. The places is the database what I showed earlier. So this one, so it loops over that. And then I have hard coded values in places, right? From like what is the X and Y position of that particular block. And if we have a color for that specific block, then what is the color and the next one. So it iterates over places and then shows it up here. Just to make it a little clearer, I would just save it, and then I would remove the font size so that actually you can see, get a better view at that. All right, so these are the blocks what I've created in places, and I have looped through them and rendered it on the screen. Starting from 0, 1, 2, 3. So these are the blocks where I can place all my fonts or whatever you want to call it. And so four blocks for each of them. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like this. And after this, like after 15, I've got 16 over here, and then 17, 18, 19, and it goes like that. And I've got XY for each one of them, and then next for each one of them, which is over here. So this entire blocks is rendering from the same thing. And yeah, yeah. So once I click on add player, it adds few things, and then you can click on roll dice and play. So it keeps going from block to block. So right now it's at 56, and it goes from 56 to 57 once you click on play. So how is that happening? So we have 56, and then uh, this has got some XY value, and then the next one is 57. So I'm also storing. So this is the static database of all the places what we have. This is not changing over time. So this is not the core application state which is changing. This is the, you can say, more of a static values. And yeah, so this is a very basic overview of how the places is being used to render things. And coming to the store, I have used Redux. I don't use Redux too much, but I thought Redux was really useful for a game like this because it's all based on events and things like that. So the initial state is something like this. I've created a shared state and a local state. Shared state has all the data which is shared across multiple users across devices. So we've got users and the players or goatees. That's what I call it. It's a bit funny, and I got a lot of comments on Twitter about it, but that's what it is. And then who is to play? Maybe I can rename it. So this was a very brute force and an ugly way of doing things. I didn't put a lot of effort into thinking about the best practices. So don't take it as okay, this is the best practice, and I'll also use the same thing. So don't do it. This is more of a side project. I'm not worried too much about the architecture and the code quality, but definitely if it grows into something, if I had to make it a mainstream project where I had to share it with multiple people, I would have used TypeScript. I would have had better practices. Uh, but for the time being, it's fine. I would definitely move initial state somewhere else. I would split the reducer into multiple different things, right? But it's okay for now. All right. So the initial state is has got shared and then users. So let's actually try to log once we. So I'll just go ahead and log things here, like the current state of the application. I'm not using a Redux DevTools as of now, but I can try that. So let me just open up the debugger and see what happens. So the current state is the initial state is local and then shared. Shared has got a dice and a value, goatees, users, and which goatee to play and which is who is to play. This is more like turns. So once I add more players, like if I click on say add player, so things change and then okay, there's some problem, but anyway, I'm looking at the current state and in the shared state we start getting something. Okay, I think we're running one state behind, so I'll click again. So we'll have shared data, and then we have user. One, the first user has got color red, and then we have got the goatees, which is I can't really find a better word than goatees. Let me just Google translate that. I tried that yesterday, but it was okay. So this one doesn't actually translate. Okay. Okay. Small ball. Ball is again not a right word. So let's use goatee for now. Anyway, all right. So yeah. So I've got like four of them. Once I add a player, I add like four goatees against each user, and there are at some location like location 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0 is this one 0, 1, 2, 3, and as soon as I roll a dice, the state changes again for the dice, which I have not implemented right now, but yeah, dice gets the value, whatever the dice is. And once you click on play, we move one of the circles with the goatees from here to here. So the that's happening from here. So shared, and then we've got so you can see the location changing now. So the new location is for this one, which is now 42, and yeah. So so this is running one state behind. So I'm just going to play again and click on this one, shared, and then goatees. I can see that one of the goatees is on location 42, which is this one. So it is showing one previous state. And yeah, so this is the basic data structure. I'm going to implement a few more things. I have tested with JSON patches to sync things between two different devices. But somebody on Twitter also came up with a really nice library, which was boardgame.io. Let's see, boardgame.io. I think this is the one. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So this is a really nice library which I'm thinking to use, but I don't want to like tightly couple this to a third party library. But if it is totally open source and if it has all those sort of freedom wherein I can implement and change things, then probably I can use it. As of now, I was thinking to have an Express server in the backend. So the high level architecture would be something. Whoops, let me just save the previous diagram. Save it. Okay, all right. Okay. So say there are two devices. So this is the first device, and then this is the second device. Both of them have got some shared data over here, shared something, and then this has got a shared data, and then we've got a server. This is the Socket.io server, Socket.io server, and then the shared data is also available here. And say if there is some change in this particular system, and then there's an action, say that shared is now updated and has a value, say x is equal to 10, right? So this needs to be replicated on the other system as well. So how can we do it? So if the brute force way of doing things would be just send the entire shared state to the server, and then whoever is connected to the server can go ahead and then complete it. But that may be too much as your shared state grows. If you have like say 100 KB of data in shared, so on every event on one of the systems, you are sending the 100 KB data of shared store and then replicating it there. So which can be really expensive at times. So how can you optimize it? So one good way of doing the same thing is using JSON patches. So instead of sending the entire object, send JSON patches, and then apply the same JSON patch on different connected devices. If the server wants to maintain a snapshot of the same thing, then the same snapshot can also be applied to the same object on the server as well, so that when a new system gets connected, instead of sending the patch, the server sends the snapshot in the first connection. And if we have like consecutive changes, so here, like whenever we are making changes to the local shared state, it emits the JSON patch, and then that is applied on the server and all the connected devices. So something like that. But the question is like, how do you generate JSON patches? Like, is there a simpler way, or should your Redux action should have like JSON patches instead of normal actions? So I came across a very nice article from Michelle, and they have solved it really well. They are using Mobux state tree, which has patches inbuilt, and whenever there's a change, the patch is generated and sent across the wire to different devices, and all the devices apply. But how to do it in Redux? Okay, so how to do it in Redux? So there's a very nice library by Michelle again that's called Immer.js. Immer.js. So using Immer.js, you can actually build the next immutable tree by actually mutating it. So say if you have this particular state which has a list of to-dos, right? And you want to say add another one. So in immutable way or using Redux, you would actually take this one and then spread whatever is there and then create a new object. In mutable state, you would actually take this one and do dot push and create new object there. Uh, but what if I want to do it the mutable way and actually create an immutable tree? So Immer helps you with that. So you can do something like next state is equal to produce. This is a function which you import from Immer, and then you can do produce and the previous state, and you have to add a callback function. In this callback function, you can modify the draft state, and as soon as you do it or push something or change something, it updates on the draft state tree, and it gives you the next state, which is the immutable version of the same thing. So you actually use dot push and mutate things, but the next step, what you receive after the produce function, is actually immutable. So you get the goodness of both the worlds. Like you can actually mutate, but it's not actually mutating. It's actually generating uh, an immutable tree. And other than this, there's another advantage. What you get with Emmer is you have the support of patches. So I love this function. So before going into what is patches, so this is a standard jasonpatch.com. You can, and this is also a spec RFC 6902, which says that if you have the document like this, like say if there's an object which has got two properties, and if you want to modify that, so you can create a patch like this. Say, okay, replace slash baz, that means this one, with a value boo. This is one patch. So Vaz would be replaced by Boo if you apply this patch on this object. And then there are more operations available here, like add a path slash hello and then remove the path slash foo. So this foo is removed and then we have new thing added. So this is a standard, which is really good. And when you mutate things inside the produce function of Immer, you get patches as well. So as soon as you do something like say something like this, so you've got say this one. Yeah. So as soon as you do produce draft dot name is equal to Michelle, you can actually generate the patches. So you get the patch something like this. So you get the patch of say replace this particular thing with something else. So what's so great about patches is that you can actually take these patches, and these are immutable. These are like Redux actions which can be sent over the wire and applied to a different equivalent system. So there's a function called produce with patches, and as soon as you say you take this object which has got age 33 and then draft, you do say age draft dot plus plus. So it generates something like this. So replace age with 34 and replace age with 33, something like this. So I have used Emmer here along with Redux uh, over here. So say if there is add there, I want to add uh, users over here and also add their respective goatees. So I've used produce with patches and I get the next state, and I'm making all the modifications inside this. Say I want to add a new user and add all the goatees, and then go ahead and return the next state. So I make all the mutable changes, but internally it gets all the immutable changes in next state, which I'm just returning from the reducer. And I also get patches and inverse patches. So I'm going to actually take these patches from all these actions and going to wire it up with send it over socket and then apply it on the other side on the server and also on all the other systems. All right. So that's the current state of the application. I'm going to take a little break and then come back and try to implement the synchronization between two different tabs. Yeah. All right. And if you have questions, please go ahead and ask the questions in the comment section. And see you soon. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.